to see you again. Another day at the shop. So what we have here is a new 1040W industrial computer. Now this is a serviceable item. This one works. But what's going on is the customer has one in their machine, and they sent us this one. They have one in the machine that's intermittently failing communications and kicking up a watchdog alarm. So what they want us to do is make this one act like the one that's in the machine right now. The problem with that is you just can't take the EEPROM set from this one and put in that one. The reason you can't do that, there's a thing called an affair number, and that's stored in the EEPROM set and the E2PROM set. They have to match. So, of course, the E2PROM is not in a PLCC socket, so we have to remove that, and I'm going to use a chip quick to remove that. Then I'm going to take this 32-pin PLCC IC socket and solder it to the board so that when, let me set this back over here, so that when we get the one that's intermittently failing, they don't want to fully bring the machine down. So when they get a chance, they're going to send us that bad one. And we're going to take and do the same thing to that one. We're going to take the EEPROM set, remove it, it's on a removable cord, and then we're going to unsolder the E2PROM and take that E2PROM. Of course, we're going to save everything to the top max computer down there so that we have copies. Then we'll make this one to replace the one that they're sending us. Did I get all that right? In my mind, it just didn't sound right. Okay, so what I want to do first is make sure that this is a serviceable item, at least as far as coming up on the monitor goes and whatnot. So let's get close to that monitor. We'll power everything up, and we'll see if at least the video from the new industrial computer is displayed on that new monitor. All right, we have the new monitor connected to the new 1040W. I've got the monitor powered up already, so the CRT should be warmed up. Applying 24 volts DC to the power supply of the new 1040W. Here we go. Let's see what we get on the monitor. Ah, it's a good sign. The new 1040W is initializing. End of verification. Okay, we're good. That new 1040W is good. Missing axis. Do you want to continue? Yes or no? I don't have a keyboard attached to this new 1040W, so I can't hit yes or no. So we're going to power down, and then we'll take the motherboard out, the control board out of this cabinet here, so that we can do the work on the EEPROMs and the E2PROM. Once we get those removed, we'll take them down to the top max and save that data. That way, if we have to go back to the original, we'll be able to, because we'll have copies of it. Let's see if we can get this thing apart. We'll flip up this side plate. Now right here is a video card. If you don't have that video card installed, a video won't be sent over to that new monitor. It plugs into two state connectors. This one belongs to us. We always get these new 1040Ws without a video card. I put a little S on there for shop. And here's a double row state connector right here. And here's a single row state connector. And on the motherboard, the control board, there's a double row state connector back here and a single row, so you can't put it in backwards. That's a nice option there. You don't want to put nothing in backwards. Over here are the EEPROMs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 EEPROMs. And down here, underneath the position of the video card, is the E-square PROM. And you can see it's not in the PLCC socket. But the video card unplugs from the motherboard. But we're going to have to remove that with Chip Quick and then clean it up and take it down to the top max, along with these. Nice thing about this is these EEPROMs are in a socket right here. So they're a match set. When we get the bad unit in, we'll do the same thing. We'll remove that IC, the E-square PROM, EEPROM, yep. The E-square PROM, yes, okay. And then we'll remove the EEPROMs. We'll save everybody to the top max, and then we'll make this unit right here look like the bad unit with matching affair numbers. Let's see if we can get this thing apart. First thing I want to do is take a few pictures so that I can get it back together correctly. It looks like I'm going to have to remove these 3 cards, and I'll number them. They look the same, but I'll go ahead and number them. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, let me get a nut driver. That's the right size. Don't know if I will have to remove them, but I have to disconnect the retaining nuts from the front of the panel so we can get that board out. Can't get the board out with these bolted to the front panel. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to leave those in for now. I can't get over this lip. Now let me take this off right here. Okay, gotta move this out of the way. Otherwise we won't be able to get the board out. Okay. Set this off to the side. So undo this connector, this power supply connector, and we'll undo this ribbon connector. Right there. We have to undo this cable right here. Let me get a good picture of that. Now that that small board is out of the way. Huh. Oh, there's a label. Okay. Let's get a picture of that label. Okay. We'll unplug that right there. Now, I think we can take everybody out. Get some pictures of these standoffs right here. I don't know if they're holding the board down or not. The standoffs were to hold the video card. Let's see if we can get everybody out. Get a different parts bucket for these parts. Two more down there I gotta get. Panel connector. Okay. Disconnect these DB9 connectors. They're labeled serial COM. Okay, and here is that's going to have to come out. That's a different size retaining nut. Let's see if this one will work. Can't get in there. It's too tight. I have to use a wrench or an adjustable to get those retaining screws out. Okay, there's all the retaining screws in the front panel. That's undone. That's undone. Screw back here. Maybe this will be the last one. Come on out. Let's see if I can get it with the magnet. It's stuck in there. Come on. There's one right here. I just don't want to come out. Let's see if we can get our boards out. Okay, I'm gonna somehow get these things out. I need to move back, but the power supply's in the way. Let's see if I can get that power supply out of there. Let's undo our connector right here. Just about got to take everything out to get the motherboard out. Okay, there's the power supply. Set that down there. Now we should be able to get this out. Get past this lip right here. There we go. Okay, we're free. There we are. Here's the EEPROMs that we're going to copy. And here's the E-square PROM that we're going to remove and copy. They're a match set by that affair number. Let me set this on the ground here real quick. Let me run these power supply screws back in so I know where they go. They're a little bit different from all the other screws, so I don't want to lose them or get them mixed up with the other screws. Okay, there's that. Okay, let's set this out of the way. Now for the fun part. The terrifying part, because if I screw this up, there ain't no coming back. We'll have a paperweight right there. Like if I put an EEPROM backwards in the top max, that EEPROM will never be written to or read again, because you put 5 volts on ground or ground on 5 volts of those EEPROMs, the little whisker wires inside for VCC and ground that connect the pins to the actual semiconductor, they will burn open. Now I can take these cards out. Number 1. I'll label that one number 1. This will be number 2. This will be number 3. I wanted to remove them so I'd have good, clear access to this E-square problem. I'll get me some wire labels and I'll label those little boards 1, 2, and 3. They look the same, but just in case. Let's go ahead and remove the EEPROM board. Come on. It's tight. How many pins I'm going to bend. Okay, there we go. We got the EEPROM board removed. I'm going to put some tape over these windows. Turn that upside down so those windows aren't exposed. Now, this is the challenging part. Getting this removed without destroying the traces nor the IC before we can get the data removed. There's part number AT28C64B-20JC, and it's manufactured by Atmel. Here we go. Ain't no turning back now. We'll add some flux to the pins of the IC. This will help the chip quick to flow. There's a little stick of chip quick right here. Add some to each side of the IC. Let me get my close-up glasses on. Grab my tweezers. Hopefully this won't take too much effort to get off the board. Crowbar here. See if we can start lifting up one side. Yes, I see it moving. Okay, there we're off the board. Now we'll use the solder wick to clean up the leads of the IC and the board. Let's go ahead and get the board first and move this out of the way. Add some flux to the solder wick, help that chip quick flow up into the weave of the copper. Takes a lot of patience to do this kind of work. Sometimes Sometimes it's very frustrating. But in the end, if all goes well, it's fairly rewarding. A lot of satisfaction. Okay, looks like I've got all the chip quick. Let me take that board over to the cleaning station. We'll clean that up. And then, next, we'll clean the leads of the IC. Then we'll be able to read it to the TopMax programmer. Back in a little bit. Okay, now we're going to take solder wick again and wick the pins of this IC. You can see it, that magic solder, that chip quick gets everywhere. But I tell you what though, that stuff is some really handy stuff to have around. I need to get a block of wood here so that IC doesn't slide around on that piece of cardboard. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'll explain it. I'm taking the solder wick and going along the edges of the pins. Come on, left hand. Right hand, you guys work together. Come on, you're a team. After we get the solder removed from the leads of the IC, we'll take a wire brush and brush the pins. Shine them up so that they'll make good contact with the TopMax adapter. One more side, maybe one more go around. We'll look after we get this one, fourth side wicked up. Okay, let's see what we look like now. Okay, that's everybody. Get some denatured alcohol. First we'll get that flux off the board. Just nice and clean before we go to try to read it. Any kind of residue on the, oops, come back here. Any kind of residue on the pins will block good continuity from the pin to the top max. And we won't get a good read of data. Okay, that looks good. Now let's shine up the pins. How's that look? That looks good. Nice and shiny. No bent pins. I think we can take that down to the top max and give it a good read. Put my denatured alcohol away. Put my flux away. Let's go to the top max and we'll read the data out of that IC. Here we are at the top max computer where we can read and write data to programmable devices. Now, years ago, I made this adapter to where I can read 28C64s or 28C16s, depending on which PLCC socket I insert that device. And here is a wire wrap IC that with these pins right here I made it to the top max adapter. This is our top max adapter. Now you can buy these, but at the time I made this I didn't have time to wait. Alright. Okay, we're going to take our IC and insert it into this PLCC socket, and then we'll insert let me sit down so I can see what I'm doing here. Give me a chair. Make sure we get hooked up right here. I'll have to go get a flashlight. I'm in the dark over here. Let's see. Let me put my hood ornament on. Get my close-up glasses on. There we go. We can see what's going on now. Okay. Looks good. Select up our top max program. Select our IC. There's Atmel. We want the 28C64B. Alright, we want the dip because we're going into the dip. We're not using an adapter. There we go. Now let's see if we can read. Alright, let's verify. We have good verification. Let's read it again, see if we got the same checksum. 8297. Okay. let's get close to that screen and we'll look at a couple of things. If possible, I'll show you where the affair number is, what address that affair number is held at. Okay, let's go ahead and save our data. Click on the save icon, and I'm going to put this on the desktop. And we're going to make a new directory. And we're going to name it, get my keypad over here so I can type. I'm going to name it Noom 1040W. And we're going to name this AT28C64B job ID 7308. And we'll go ahead and tack the checksum onto that too. The checksum was 8297. 8297. Alright, now let's go to the editor and I'll show you where you can find the affair number in the E-square-prom. Okay, here we are. There's address 400. We want to go to 418. Hex 418. And there, right there, is our affair number. 131671. That's the affair number. Let me close this out. Now I'm going to save those 8 EPROMs to the same directory. But we can save that for tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. We got some chores to do. Got to do a little bit of house cleaning and whatnot. Rest up a little bit for the work on Sunday. Okay, we'll see you in the morning. Oh, and then tomorrow we'll put that PLC IC socket onto the motherboard. I forgot about that. Whew, that's going to be fun. We'll see you tomorrow. Yesterday, we saved the data from the E-square-prom. Today, we're going to save the data from the EPROMs. And their part number, TMS 27C040-10, manufactured by Texas Instruments. And here are the EPROMs. And you can see that I've labeled them 1 through 8. That way I don't get them mixed up when I go to put them back on the board. Don't want to do that. Machine will not work if you get your EPROMs mixed up. Now, let's go ahead and remove the one labeled number 1. And we'll insert it into the zip socket of the TopMax Universal Programmer. Now let's select our part. Let's go down here and find Texas Instruments. There it is. Let's go over here and find our part. 27C64. 27C040. There's a P, must have went past it. There we are. TMS 27C040, dip 32. Let's select OK now. We shall read that by clicking on the read button. Okay, we have a checksum of 1108. Let's verify. Huh. Strange. Let's read it again. We had a verify error. "11BD." Let's read it again. "1108." Okay, we're going to take that one. Save. We'll put it in the same directory as the E-square problem. We'll name this one U1 underscore 1108. The checksum. Let's save. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for the other 7 EPROMs. Y'all don't have to watch me do that. It's the same as the first one. Hopefully they'll checksum good. We'll see. So here is our 32-pin PLC socket. We're going to install that in this position right here. Now before I do that, what I have to do is cut this base plate out so I can reach all the pins, because there's ribs that hold that base plate to the outer structure, and those ribs are in the way. Get my close-up glasses on. There we go. Did I get it? There we go. Now hang on to this, because we're going to reinstall it after we get the PLC IC socket soldered to the board. If we don't reinstall this, what happens is when you install the E-square prom, it falls below the edge of these pins and makes bad contact. And let's set that off to the side. What we need to do next, we're going to tin our wires right here. This will help with the installation. All right, here we go. See if I can get everybody lined up. Probably the hardest part is getting started on this thing. Okay, I think that's it right there. Let's get a couple of these. Oops, it moved. Let's get a couple of these tacked down. Okay. Now we get this side right here. That's why you want to pre-tin the pads so that all you have to do is heat up the pin and let it and push it down into the pre-tin pad. Okay, I have to turn the board. Last side. There we go. That wasn't so bad, was it? I don't know why I was dreading that. I think I was dreading it because it's just very tedious to get down in the canyon there with that big old soldering iron. I'm always afraid I'm going to mess up royally. But that wasn't so bad. I'll grab a loop and double check my work, and all we have to do now is wait for the other unit to come in so we can pull the programmable devices off and make this board look like that board. Okay. There we go. We're done for a few days. We got to wait for that bad unit to come in, that bad new industrial computer. We'll see you then.